All right, what up, everybody? This is PT, the Sneaker Preacher, back again with God's Word, no cap. And today we're looking at the shortest distance between drowning and deliverance. The shortest distance between drowning and deliverance from our stories from the storm. We talked last time about how Peter was in the boat with the rest of the disciples and Jesus was on land. He was coming out to them, and Peter was the one with strength enough and sense enough to call on Jesus and ask if he could meet him in the storm as the winds were blowing the boat around in the waves and they were having trouble getting to the storm. Peter was the one that had sense enough and strength enough to call on Jesus and go to him, even though all of them were in the storm. And so this time we're going to look at the aftermath of Peter stepping out to show us the distance between drowning and deliverance. It says, Peter, when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. So Peter has sense enough and has strength enough to step out on faith and come to Christ as he calls him and allows him to be a part of a miracle. If I had time, I'd stop and I would tell you that you are already a part of a miracle. The fact that you have been awakened this morning, that you have gotten out of bed, the fact that you have driven into work or you have driven into church, you have driven into school, you are already a part of a miracle because Satan tried to kill you last night. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But I just wanted to deposit that into your spirit, that Peter was already a part of a miracle. He had stepped out on faith and he had walked on water, and only one other person had done it, and he was doing it in real time. So as he is walking toward Jesus, Peter forgets that he's already a part of a miracle, and he sees the winds coming across the sea, and he sees the way that they are rustling up the waves, and he sees that this is something that nobody else has done, and he starts to focus on the wind. He starts to focus on the waves. He starts to focus on how big the problem is, not realizing that he is already a part of the miracle. And it says when he saw the wind, when he was afraid and he began to sink and he said, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus reached out and his hand and caught him. Now, shortly before that, it says, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, which is where Jesus was, and it was being buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Jesus saw them in their struggle and started to move toward them, even though he was a great distance away. Peter calls out to him and says, "Lord, if that is you, allow me to come to you. So allow me to meet you in your miracle." But as Peter is meeting Jesus in the midst of a miracle, Peter takes his eyes. And even though Jesus is a considerable distance, it says immediately, once Peter said, "Lord, save me," immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Do you know how quickly you are sinking in the water, right? Just imagine going from standing on water, walking on water, to immediately dropping into the water. You've fallen on the ground, and it takes a matter of seconds. Jesus was a considerable distance, but the moment that Peter called out to him, "Lord, save me," Jesus was immediately there and caught him. The shortest distance between our drowning and our deliverance is "Lord, save me." The shortest distance between confusion and chaos and calm in the midst of the storm is "Lord, save me." The shortest distance between divorce and happily ever after is "Lord, save me." The shortest distance between financial worry and financial freedom is "Lord, save me." The shortest distance between singleness and eternal bliss is "Lord, save me." There's a storm that you're going through, and you're already a part of the miracle. And you may be watching the wind, you may be worried about the waves, but before you can drown, simply call out, "Lord, save me," and you will be face to face with your deliverance. This has been God's Word, no cap. I am PT, the Sneaker Preacher, back once again with a story from the storm. We'll see you next time.